Sportsmanship is for Little League, Pee Wee football, high school athletics. The minute you start getting paid for your sport, sportsmanship goes out the window. Let's riff. Welcome back to Scott Riffs. Where has CrossFit missed the mark? And I want you to listen closely because she does something very tricky here that really pissed me off. You are not presenting accurate facts. You are manipulating what you're presenting to suck people into your narrative. CrossFit takes note or gets out of the way. One or the other, because this train's moving forward because of people like you. I'm too much of an alpha at times to want to conform too much. And I would rather be all of me. What's going on, everybody? We're here to talk about sportsmanship. But first, I'm going to address Damien, who's asking, is this the pre-Sevon show? No, Sevon is the post-Clydesdale media show. Let's go. So last night, Roman Khrennikov made a post on Instagram. I'm going to share that now and share his thoughts, and we will then discuss. So here it is. I'm going to blow up the words here. Roman Khrennikov, unsportsmanlike conduct, playing dirty. CrossFit is a community of individuals where the leaders are held to high standards. My professional career started in 2018. I have heard head judges read the rulebook numerous times, especially General Rules Section C, paragraph of the rulebook, which requires all athletes to compete in sportsmanlike manner. The fittest man on earth wins because he is the most physically prepared. If you think you can get into my head with strategy that your coach and you think will work, then I'm sorry to disappoint you. Next time, I hope you will pay better attention to the rule book and try to get fitter versus dirty games. At Jeff Adler, at Caroline Lambre. So that is Roman's statement. And then what he is referring to is, and I can only determine this from bits and pieces I've put together from the Sevon show in an interview that he did with Jeff and Caroline, that Jeff Adler was asked about physically touching Roman at the CrossFit Games during the 5K. Jeff Adler responded that there was that was alleged of him during the 5K. There was a motion filed to have that reviewed. It was reviewed by video and determined that it did not take place. The other thing that was alleged was that Jeff was asking Roman to run faster with him, talking to him during the 5K. Roman didn't do that, and those are the allegations that I know of for a fact. I have heard since then that there was some talk apparently during the bike race. I don't know the exact examples there, but I will continue to try to figure that out. The important thing is the physical touching was reviewed by CrossFit. It was dismissed based on the video review of that event. So let's eliminate the physical touching because that was dismissed. As for the trash talking, that is just part of the sport. And if you are playing a sport at a level you're getting paid, then be ready for trash talking. In addition to that, sorry, I'm reading the comments. I need to stop that. Trash talking is part of the sport. It happens in every sport that I watch. Football, basketball, hockey, everything. Everybody's chirping. I do it in my own gym with my buddies. They do it back to me. It's part of the culture. We call it ball busting where I am. We bust each other's balls, but we love each other. And at the end of the day, we give each other hugs and congratulate each other for the work that's been done. But during the workout, we play a little with the chirping and the trash talking and have fun with it. I have talked with Jeff Adler and Caroline Lambre on several occasions. 6 months ago, we had them on our show, and we actually brought up the topic of trash talking. So I'm going to play that for you now, where you can hear how they feel about trash talking and what it means to them, because it does mean different things to different people. And here we go.
The problem is, as soon as you point a camera towards us,
let me start this over.
So what started this whole conversation was your trash talking in 2020.
Yeah.
And that to me is what the sport needs more of shown. Like, I think it adds an entertainment value that people don't get to see unless you happen to be in the media pit or the around the corrals. It is so much fun. Do you think there's a way that we can show more of that on a telecast, or do you think it's can get too harsh?
I don't know. It's the problem is, as soon as you point a camera towards us, it doesn't happen anymore. So I don't know. I think at a certain level, it's something that the athletes share together that makes it very special for athletes that we don't necessarily want to share with the world.
That's fair. I think that's fair.
It's like our little inner circle. If there is some bits that are filmed and that can get out, why not? But I think still, like, if let's say I get caught on camera talking shit about Pat, well, maybe ask me before to post it. Like, that could be something. Even if it's for fun, it's still like, do we want to put that video or that clip out there? Maybe not. Maybe some will want to. But I think I'm in the ones that would like to keep that little inner circle between us, because it's really hard to get there. And it's part of the perks once you get there is to have fun with I don't want to say with my competitors. Yeah. So that's my point of view.
So there you hear it. It's almost like a rite of passage in Jeff's mind, right? He's trying to, it's like he's earned the right to get there, to be a part of this club where they get to shit talk each other, and that's fun for them. You got to remember, he hangs out with like the Brent Fikowskis and the Pat Vellners, and that kind of stuff happens all the time with them. They make side bets to humiliate each other with snowballs and baths and weird, crazy stuff. Chirping is just part of the sport. I love the busting balls in a sports culture. I said it in that clip. I think it brings entertainment value to the sport. When Roman does it on the mic, everybody laughs. When people do it, when Jeff said someone needs to beat Frazier, everybody loved it. It is part of the sport that brings entertainment value to the crowd, and it's how a sport like this can grow. It happens in boxing, MMA, all over the world. I know Lex is saying it could be a cultural difference, and I did factor that in. But then I thought about all the times that Roman did those kind of things on the mic after an event. And again, it could be lost in translation. Who knows? But he does that trash talking on the mic just as much as other athletes do it in the arena. And there were times, not even with Jeff Adler, where like Roman was being cheered for, and Pat stepped back and did this to the crowd so that he could get cheers over top of Roman. They were all doing it. I'm going to finish up with this. There was a lot of pushing and shoving on events where there was running and biking. There were documented incidents of bike accidents left and right because people were bumping and rubbing into each other throughout that event. During what I could see during Helena, there was elbowing and shoving, trying to get back into the stadium to finish up those rounds. I am sure in a mass start of 80 people, there were elbowing and pushing to get through the crowds to get out to where you were. As it goes for trash talking, that happens in every sport. We've talked about that a lot. A lot of trash talking occurred on the mic, off the mic, in the event, around the event. That is what brings entertainment value. And Roman was a part of that as well. To be bringing this up a month after the games is petty and poor sportsmanship at the least, and a poor loser probably more accurately. Jeff Adler didn't win because of his trash talking and didn't win because he was more physical on the course. Roman didn't lose because of the trash talk. Roman lost because there was a guy just as fit as him that pushed him to his limits. Roman didn't finish the weekend. Jeff Adler did. He was crowned fittest on earth. That is it. Period. End of story. I'm going to put a couple comments up. Jay Birch says, Roman said plenty during Rogue last year. Kenneth DeLapp says, boys being boys. Carolyn Prevost says, I really don't like that he tells him to get fitter versus playing dirty. I would not consider chirping playing dirty. He earned his fittest on earth title fair and square. Roman chirps on Insta always. Lex comes in and says, agree, staying healthy the whole time is required to be the fittest on earth too. And part of that is because he was pushed, because there was a guy just as fit as him. Remember, going into Muscle Up over Log or whatever that was called, it was a 2-point race between the two of them. They were being pushed to the limits. Maybe Jeff Adler releases some of that tension by chirping and talking during an event. Lex then follows up with, doesn't emulate spirit of the games, in my opinion. Don't even get me started on that. I don't think he deserved it in the moment either. Kenneth DeLapp says, look back at the 2016 games doc, swim event. People talked about being scratched, swam over, pulled underwater, etc. I'll go one step further. Ben Smith got tripped and did a header into the sand in 2015 trying to get to the water. Carolyn says Jeff beat him in the open, quarters, semis, and after 10 events of the CrossFit Games. That's pretty fit if you ask me. Damien said there's more to the story. And Kenneth says, Hiller brought up a good point in his video today. Would you think differently of the post if a woman put it on social media versus a man? I would not. And Jacqueline Robertson says, I think Roman should maybe listen to some of the behind the scenes with Bridges chirping Frazier. Don't disagree with you there. The other thing I'm going to leave you with is I have talked with Jeff and Caroline a ton. They've been on our show, I think 4 times now. They talk about Roman with reverence, that he was the standard that Jeff wanted to get to be competitive at the games. So the fact that this is coming out about him blows my mind, because they would talk about Roman being the guy that Jeff had to beat. He was the guy that he had to measure up to in semifinals, and was so happy that Roman was going to be in his semifinal to be able to measure up to, so he knew where he stood going into the games. For all this to come out now is just super petty and being a very big sore loser. Jay Birch makes a great comment. Cole Sager would take you out if you're not careful, especially when he's trying to cut that corner on the beach to get to the water. Cole Sager was a former fullback, and he is not too ashamed to use it. Kenneth DeLapp, at the end of the day, good press for the games, or of nothing else. Keep you interested in the off season. They say good press, or all press is good press. I'm not sure. I don't know. I think that Roman, this is a bad look for Roman. You're talking about a guy who is known for his toughness, growing up in Siberia, fighting his way to get to the games. This just is a bad look for him at this moment in his career. And And I think that Jamie kind of brings it to light here. I'm shocked someone in the Mayhem camp didn't try to talk Roman down from this post. I agree. I think that is a bad look for him at a bad time in his career. We don't know what this foot injury is. We don't know how long this will last. Maybe he's just going through some stuff over that. Maybe, but it's a bad look right now. And I think the sportsmanship mirror should be faced at Roman at this time and not Jeffrey Adler. With that, all right, I'll leave with this because it kind of speaks to that. Jacqueline Robinson says, I'm way shocked that a former Russian military officer is so sensitive. With that, riff over. We will catch you next time on Scott Riff.